I'm Jason Groot, situated out here in Litchfield. Carved down 560 cows on 155 hectares. So we're a system 4 with a feed pad, no in-shed feed. We've got about a crossbreed herd, probably doing around 540 milk solids a cow. So just aiming for good efficiency and good capacity. Here we have a 40 bale Rotaflo rotary, so it's sitting on water. It's probably about 30 something years old, but it's with good cow flow we're able to milk quite quickly and efficiently. So this is my 4th year here. I run 2 staff members and have managed to avoid using any relief staff, and that is the largest reason as to why I chose to do cup removers. Initially it would be 2 people in the shed and then 1 person doing herds, and so the sooner I put cup removers here, when I signed on for 3 years, the sooner I put cup removers in, the sooner they could pay for themselves, and I could justify the expense. When pursuing to put cup removers in, I again talked with a local crowd to have an install. They eventually, 4 months after the first conversation, finally came out to see what it would take for a retrofit. So they did a sort of mock install, and it became apparent in that talking with Craig a little while later that install was going to have a lot of trouble unfold, because they were going to put a ram upside down, which he straight away says, how were they going to deal with the water that would accumulate, and to pay the amount of money that was going to be spent to find that out would have just really ticked me off. So again, a testament to service and understanding of the product, and what it is as a farmer we're after, meant that I straight away had confidence in the retrofit and what I was going to get. We chose to do a bar going up and over to give us height and achieve a good angle for removing cups. I think the benefit of the CR-1 is that internally it has a pulley which doubles the length of the stroke, which is allowed for, particularly for the retention bar, a shorter ram. So the ram has managed to fit within the bale sideways, which just gave us a lot of flexibility with where we placed it. More and more in my career I am prioritising service. So when I got Craig's number from MilkTech, it was a phone call on a Tuesday. He arrived on a Thursday, quote in my inbox on a Friday. I okayed it with him and the wheels started turning on the next Monday. Within 6 weeks of that conversation, I was milking with CR-1 milk, cup removers. Very fast process, and Craig has been excellent ever since. Very much friendly character. I'll go and see him every field days, but so extremely helpful. After the initial install, I did talk to Craig about having the retention bars remain down during the wash. I never fully understood, and it was the case for all cup removers that I've used in the past, is they remained up, which is when I want to clean them. So I asked, is there a feature to allow me to lower them? He said there was a new install that did that. He came out, swapped out the programming, and now I have clean retention bars every day. So again, testament of, well, I guess innovation to a degree and service to another. But and then since then, talking to Craig, he's mentioned that you can flick the switch to wash, and so from then on, when you start a cup, it will start in wash, which just saves you holding the button for 2 seconds when it comes to hanging cups up. So I just think little innovations like these will save time and just get rid of annoyances. And as for other products, I mean, again, talking to Craig, I'd love to spend more money. I've got to sometimes justify it, but I do have cup removers that would have the ability to measure milk. I would have to install the EID readers and things like that, but I'd seriously consider it, and if I was to extend my stay on this farm, it just becomes more and more feasible. It's something I'd love to do to drive efficiency in my business. I'm very happy with the CR-1s, between the pull to start, the simplicity of the strings, the colourful lights, the reliability, What else have we got? I haven't had a solenoid fail in what is now 3 years of milking. I am spring calving, but milking all year round for as long as I can. Yeah, minimal failure, so just replace strings now and again. Once I had the cut removers installed, in order to drop a labour unit in the shed, I needed a teat sprayer, which meant I needed leg spreaders, and that was a case of shopping around, seeing what was out there, and pleasantly being surprised by MilktechNZ providing their own, which were very much affordable, by far, yeah, the better price out there. So again, no-brainer. Once again, Craig supplied them very promptly, and within no time at all we were utilising our teat sprayer. Last year, having issues with mastitis given the season, hitting a higher production with a cup and bowl setup that was not handling the higher producing cows, the faster milk letdown, I needed to look into a larger bowl. Again, shopping around, the best price, best product in New Zealand made and sourced is the MC1. It's off the top of my head, it's about a 330ml bowl, somewhere around there. Extremely light, durable. I had the older bowls that were prone to cracking. I was probably breaking one a week with the concrete platform. I have not replaced a claw or a bowl. Yeah, I have not had a staff member complain about the size, the weight, durability. It's perfect. With the CR-1 and the light display, we're in no doubts as to what the cut remover is doing. We can put it on hold when we're using buckets. We know when it's in a milk letdown stage, or it's not going to start itself after getting taken off thanks to a hold time. So staff have never taken long to take to the cut removers. They've been flawless all season long, so it has a feature where it can indicate when a cow, or it believes the cow has kicked its cups off, and that can help with anything, because it was only 2 weeks ago it helped a staff member note that the pulsators had stopped, and so cows kept coming round having not milked out. It's a handy feature to have, and it ensures that cows only leave the platform when fully milked. Thanks to the Wi-Fi hub, I guess, I can make those changes. So late season, I may remove that just to avoid low producing, particularly heifers, being forced to go around twice due to late lactation. So with a few clicks of a few buttons, I can remove that feature. I can, and have done, changed it late season so that the cups come off slightly earlier, just to stop any over milking. In the past, I've had to double check or override cut removers when it comes to milking out heifers with swelling. I have not needed to do that with CR1s. They're just absolutely flawless. So I have a lot of confidence in the cut removers, and that's reflected in much lower mastitis cases. I've got a very low somatic cell, sitting around 70 to 75 for most of the year, and with the freedom of being able to, well, one, leave staff with them, but two, should something happen outside of the shed, I can also leave the shed knowing that the cups will be taken off and the cows are not going to be over milked. Other features that are helpful, even the hold feature does eventually have a max milking time, so should someone accidentally put a cow on hold, she's not going to go around the entire milking long, which I do think is a helpful addition. I had a friend investigating which cut removers, or making choices, reviewing options on what cut removers to purchase, and it came down to two options. Price was negligible, and therefore, what are we getting out of them? And it essentially came down to the ability to change your cut remover settings throughout the year, should you note that changes need making. And like I say, I can shorten that milking time, late lactation, when it's perhaps less important, and gain a couple of minutes back in the pocket if we need to. So yeah, all the parameter changing that I've done has been with my phone, and in the milking that it pops into my mind that I think that potentially a benefit can be made. So I have a bad case of thinking of things that need to be done in the cow shed, and once I leave and go home for breakfast, it is gone from my mind. So the ability to do it there and then has been especially helpful, and also I can see the changes that I've made and effects that they have made there and then. So no, it is much better than having to rely on someone or call someone. And one of my concerns when it came to cut removers is I pride my herd on not moving a leg or being very temperament essentially. I want an enjoyable experience when milking. Cut removers has always been a worry about something dragging past their hock, or will it breed irritation into the herd, and it just has not. With the cluster bowl releasing vacuum and again through changes of the cluster bowl being able to change the time in which the string takes the cup away and things like that, I've found a point at which these cows are not irritated. There's been no drastic change in their behaviour, and so again minimising over milking, ensuring all cows milk out evenly, and not being irritated by the cut remover itself has meant that only benefits have been drawn really. With the CR1s and the pull to start, again, training staff with that is extremely simple. We have the chart of what the lights mean in behind them, so should they not understand, it's there. But the simplicity of how they function is very simple for anybody to pick up. There are LED lights on the control board that controls the cut remover. In this retrofit, it happens to be pointing into the centre of the shed, so if I'm not unsure what's happening on the other end, I merely just stand up and have a look, and I can see if it's on hold red for a fault, or the cups have managed to start themselves in some way. I can walk around and remedy it before it gets to the bridge, avoiding cups being dragged through. So, or a cow going around twice, particularly between the separate herds. So, a lot of, again, simplicity, convenience, training staff to replace strings, which is essentially the only thing we ever need to do, and more seldom than I've had in the past in other sheds. Again, is a very simple layout, and I haven't had anyone do it wrong, so very helpful. I absolutely recommend between the product, the service, most definitely, and yeah, part of me more and more is trying to make sure my money is spent within New Zealand. So these are all key points that allow me to strongly encourage people to go with MilktechNZ. Yeah.